Okay, so today what we are going to do is we are checking about network policies. So, network policy basically, I am uh, working for CKS exam. So, in CKS exam, it's good that this feature let me increase the font size if I can increase that. Yeah. So we will go chapter by chapter, but as you know that I'm working professional, so it might happen that I might break or I might take some long break. So I'm just started preparing for this exam. So now we will go through the basic concept first, and then we are going to enter in the next phase. So now in network policy, I have discussed about default default DNA policy. So now now we will discuss about ingress policy. So let's see first. So this is a network policies document. So it is showing network policies. So we can see here what kind of network policy, two short port of isolation. These are the network policy here. It has defined. So let me give you brief about this. Suppose this is a cluster here. In that cluster, uh, okay, I don't know these new technologies. Okay, so this is a cluster here. In this cluster, there is a namespace NP, and in that namespace, I am taking two ports. So this client port is going to connect to NGNX port, but we will apply a policy that this client port only communicate with NGNX. Any other port outside the cluster, outside the namespace, if try to reach here, so it will not be able to reach there. Hopefully, here simply there are two ports, client and server. This is our server and this is our client. So these are going to be communicate here, and then we are applying a policy here, that is a network policy. So that's all we are going to discuss, because this is a very basic thing, but it can come in exam. So if you see here, this kind of question can come. Block incoming traffic by default for all ports in the web auth namespace. So this I have taken from some website. Uh, so that I'm not telling the name. But yeah, this is the question from the website I have taken here. To create a configuration that causes incoming traffic to all ports in the web auth namespace to be blocked by default, and this allow traffic from auth client port to reach the web auth server. So basically same namespace where we are allowing the traffic to the server from the client. So this client will try to reach this server. So allow auth client port to reach auth server. Both ports are in the web auth namespace. We will create a different namespace here. This is auth client needs to able to reach on port 80. Only ports with the appropriate label should be able to access this server if they are in the same space. Port outside the web auth namespace should never be able to access web auth server. So this is our question. Now I was just working on it. So I have applied this, and so I have just created a namespace which is NP test, which we have created in previous video. So this was our client code. This was our nginx code. Then I had exposed it through a service here nginx2, and then my client code should be able to reach here. So let's see if it is going there. So kubectl. Now we are going inside the code. So this is a basic command, you all know this, but here we are going inside the client code, and from client code we will try to see if it is reaching there. Curl service name is nginx2, nginx2. So we are getting the response here. If we will try to curl 10.104.64.57, then also we are getting the response. So now let's see this lab one by one. So now I am deleting all. Okay, I don't. I think I forgot the command here to still delete. Okay, so yeah, this is the command. Now, I think we have to deploy SVC also. We have to delete deploy also. Now let's see if anything exists is this namespace. Yeah, so this is terminating. Now let's see the network policy. Yeah, so this policy we need to delete. Okay, so now let's come to the question. Create a configuration for incoming traffic to be blocked by default. First, we will delete. By default, we will block all the traffic. So first, we need to create a server here. For server, it is on auth port 80. So let's create a deployment. Okay, so you know very well, but I'm just reminding you for exam purpose, use the imperative command. So this is our imperative command. Now we are taking a basic image, that is, then we are taking the port. This is our created. Now, okay, so let's see one thing here. how this is going to happen in a real time scenario. Uh, this is a cluster. Here, suppose this is a namespace, this is a port, this is a port. Now, how this port will identify this one, or this is a service, this is client, and this service will go to this deploy pod server nginx. Now, how this is going to happen, that we have to identify. So what we can do, we will define some policy here. How? See this policy here. What it is saying? Port selector, role db, match label. So we have to give some label so that it can, basically it is like a if else loop, and we are putting a condition here so that this kind of condition should be there, then only we can match. So what are we going to do for this port? For incoming traffic, this is the port, server port. So server port, we have to define some label here, then only it will be, some policy match should be there. So we are going to give some label here. So for label, you know that command, but I'm just again repeating label. So we can give anything. So we know our deploy is nginx. Label we can give app equals server or anything, but okay, app equal client I think we had given. So let me show you. Uh, okay, let's give server. Oh, so whatever we have created, cube CTS, get code. So it is already having label app equal nginx. So this should be our policy part. Now let me create a policy service now. So there is no service here. What we are going to do, we will use service this time because this is the standard approach. Service is kind of a mapper, so there will be multiple port. If there are multiple port like this, so they should be having same level app equals, this port should be having label app equal, this will be also having. Now what will happen, this service will identify that it need to direct the traffic when we will define app equal nginx as a selector here. So it will direct the traffic here based on this label, and this service can be load balancer, cluster IP, or node port. That is a different topic altogether, but this service we are going to create. Okay, so just for your information, there are multiple things we can define in service. So this is the command here. See here, external also type load balancer, what kind of service, protocol, whatever target port or port, its port, target port should be there, and port. These things we can define here, but we don't need here for this question. So we are going straight forward. So if you see here, it has taken default port 80 here, and this is a type of cluster IP. This is the IP, and external IP we don't need. That is for when you are working in your project. That time you have to give through the load balancer or someone else. Now we have completed this part, server part, SVC part. Now coming to the client part. So this client need to able to reach here SVC. So let me see my SVC. So this part I have written already the command. So service name is ngnx here. So that only we need to update if I have not updated. Yeah. So let me update this name. Earlier I have used this service name, but we can update it. I'm not good in that scripting. So if it fail, we will directly go inside the code and then we will try to check, because this code will be given to you in exam. So now these are the things we had created, but what it is saying in first part, default deny. So that we have already discussed, but let me show you what we have discussed last time. So this is our policy. Whenever we give this part all, so it will deny all traffic. As of now, we are getting the status of 200. So if we go inside and we will try to cull this IP, so as of now it is able to reach. So let exit from this. Now we will apply our default deny. This has been created. Now let me check the logs. It is reaching there, it is reaching there, it is reaching there, it is reaching there. So it is still working. So now but I don't remember the IP. It is 11. 10.1.0.11. It should not reach there, it should not reach there, it should not reach there. Yeah, it is not reaching there. So policy is applied, but logs has not been updated. So that might be, I have to check, but yeah, let me see. Control C, exit. Now we will try to go to this IP. This is 1099.236. Ah, it is reaching there. Problem is at code level, policy has been applied, but still it is reaching there. Okay, so what we can do is let's delete this code and then try to apply this, because I'm not sure in my local system that plugin is good or not. We can also run watch command. It is still terminating. It might take some time. Okay, now let me apply. Now let me check the logs. Status is 200. Why that status is 200? Because it is just going to the service. Service is reaching there. That's why. But from the port, we were able to connect. We were not able to connect directly to that port, but here that service we are able to ping. Service level, our policy has not been applied, but we have created that service in the same namespace. Yes, and that is also working here. If we go inside this client port, and then we will try to curl 10.1.0.11. So we are getting the response. So it means our policy is not yet applied. Get it is applied, but why it is not working? Okay, so this kind of things can happen in this. What we can say is my mini cube, because there is a network plugin issue I have faced earlier also. Okay, let's do last try. Okay, let's wait for some time, because I might think that this is a plugin issue, but I have that my lab here, so this we can try. So I will show you this cloud lab, because that can help us here.
Hello and welcome to the Hands-On
So
Lab
we are
Lockdown
using
Interpod
this.
Communication.
So we will try to connect this.
With network policies. In this lab, you're going to be locking down network communication within a Kubernetes namespace.
Okay. Let me see if that is still same issue. Okay, this is not why it is not working. No, it should deny that. So let me try here. So what we will do is we will do the same things here. So okay, no worries. Okay, so it is already having a value. Now we will create a client port. For that purpose, what we can do is okay, hope you remember that set paste command. that paste and then enter, then hyphen I, then we can paste our code. Although it is in already in that namespace, but to make sure, I am again doing this. Okay. Service has been created. Now same policy I am going to use to recheck if it is a policy issue or what kind of issue it can have. Okay. Now they okay. See here, we can see that everything is fine, but here it is working, there it is not working. So it is not our code fault, but it is some kind of plugin issue. So we have to make sure that our plugin are okay or not. It is still giving 200. So let's go in this lab and then try. So now that is the one condition met. Now another condition. This is only port with appropriate label and this. So what we can do is we can create a network policy. Here you need to take help. That policy here, if you go here, policy section, yeah, network policy here. So this you have to do. So in exam you will get that site access. So just go to there and then write. Write it. I am just typing because it will be in my memory for exam. So, and that's why I'm preparing this video also, just for my exam preparation. So, and this metadata. uh, then namespace, whatever namespace they will give you, so we can't use this, so we have to use our namespace and it has. Then spec port selector. Remember, this port selector is the port of the where traffic is coming, not from. So it is the port where we are expecting the traffic. No, we have not given role, so we have given app. So this is the label we had given. Now come to the second part, policy type. Ingress and egress. Now one thing is, so like same policy I have defined here, like this one. So if you see here, we are just defining the ingress policy here. So here, this is the ingress policy, same which I am going to use here. So now ingress, and then this IP as of now we don't need because they are just talking about namespace. So we can just go to the namespace selector. So it is here. I'm just taking this. You might be more good here, but yeah. So for client port, we had given app equal client here. So this is only we are going to give, but this is not for project. Oh, so first we need to set the project, not app equal client. So that we have to remember. So here in this policy, project is namespace, port selector we have to check. So we remember these things. Okay. So two things here. This port selector and this namespace is in the different condition. So now these will be considered two items, but it is saying only inside the namespace. So don't do this mistake here. Yeah. namespace selector and port selector, a single to or from entry. So this port selector should be here, not a different item. So this will change the whole condition here. So we have to remember this. So just go there. Okay, so that's all we have done. Nothing else is required. This has been done. Something bad I have done. Okay, so this is port selector. Let me check. Namespace selector, port selector, match labels. Namespace selector, port selector, match labels. Not sure what I have done here. It might be a YAML issue. Allow in base.yaml, validation errors, namespace selector. Spec section in grace from namespace selector. Match labels is a non field. So first we have to correct it. So now it is saying port selector is a non field. Okay, port selector, why it is being port selector error? This I have done as hopefully this policy should work. Even I don't know. Let's see what will happen now. We will read it. It is not working, so let me till May. It might be due to that default delay that is happening. Okay, so again it is not working because there is some mistake I had done that we have to define check. Now let's see what kind of error we can do. So this client port is having label app equal client and app equal ngnx. In policy we have defined the same thing. Looks like time is running out. Yeah. App is client, app is ngnx, namespace is nptest here, nptest, policy type is okay, so it should work here, and project is nptest, namespace selector. We had given everything correctly, but again it is okay. So I think what we can do is uh, it is still not able to reach, but it should be able to reach there because we have deleted the policy deny all. Still it is working. Allow policy. Okay, so this is going outside. It should not be going there. Okay. No, it is not coming. This client code is this. Policy type in grace. At equal nginx. So there was some error which I made, and some of you have already seen that when I was typing, but I am not able to get that error, but it is working fine now. So we can see that we are getting the status as 200. So there might be some issue, but now this is the solution here. So we can see here this policy and this port level for incoming, and this is the namespace selector which we have to choose. So I think it is already a lot of time, and I have to improve myself also. But yeah, this is the dumb kind of question which I have taken, so we can practice this. Thank you.